Hello friends, welcome to Manu Law classes. I am Gautam Dikshit. Friends, today in this video we are going to discuss the Hindu of March 11, 2022. Now, in today's newspaper, the most important news are pertaining to foreign page and economic page about the new development related to the Russia-Ukraine crisis and the sanctions against Russia, and now Russia has also imposed sanctions on certain exports. Then we will also study the economic impact of this Russia-Ukraine crisis 2022 on Indian economy and at the world economy at large. There are some reports suggesting that if the oil crude prices are going to increase in this way, it might have an spillover effect on India's inflation. Then the news is related to elections, the results of which has come yesterday. So we are just going to discuss one important editorial related to this election. Now friends, let's move to the foreign page, which is the most important page for today. Now friends, this news very important, that is Russia-Ukraine talks yields no progress. So let's have a background of this news. First is that Russia, as you know, invaded Ukraine on February 24th. Before that, Russia had declared two eastern region of Ukraine, that is Luhansk and Donetsk. Luhansk and Donetsk as the independent republic. Following that, there was invasion in Ukraine. Now this invasion led to a humanitarian crisis also. According to the United Nations, about 2 million people in Ukraine they have started leaving Ukraine, and they are moving to different countries, the neighboring countries of Ukraine, like Poland, Romania, Slovakia, Moldova, etc. At the same time, there was also an issue related to evacuation of Indians. So it was very difficult to evacuate Indians directly from Ukraine. So Indians, they traveled to countries neighboring Ukraine, for example Poland, again Romania, Slovakia, etc. And from that Indians were evacuated under Operation Ganga. Now evacuation of Indians from the eastern part of the Ukraine, which were under intense Russian shelling, was quite difficult. Especially you must have read about two cities, Kharkiv and Sumy. Also in Kharkiv, the first Indian casualty of Ukraine crisis was Naveen Shekharappa ji. He was from Karnataka. He was 21-year-old medical student studying in Kharkiv Medical University. Now the Russia-Ukraine crisis, recently in the last few days we have read that Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky had declared that Ukraine has no inspiration to join NATO. At the same time, he was ready for compromise on Luhansk and Donetsk. Earlier, the first round of talk between Russia and Ukraine, it was held in Belarus. Now, in yesterday's newspaper, we had studied that the second round of talk was going to be held in Turkey. Now, in Turkey also, the talk has resulted into stalemate. Okay, so no definite conclusions has come out because of allegations made by Russia and Ukraine against each other. So if we will just see that, just read this, the Sergei Lavrov, this name is very important. Sergei Lavrov, he is the foreign minister of Russia, and then the foreign minister of Ukraine is Irina Vereshchuk. Irina Vereshchuk. Okay, now she is the foreign minister of Ukraine. So over here the allegations have been made that Russia is saying that the West is intensifying the conflict, and Volodymyr Zelensky is accusing Russia of committing genocide. Now over here, if you will see Russia's advances in Ukraine, so Russia has been successful in encircling certain cities in the southern part of Ukraine, and most prominent among them is the coastal city of Mariupol, from where the evacuation of citizens is very difficult, and it has reached a humanitarian crisis level. So there is a humanitarian crisis over here, that is evacuating thousands of people trapped in this city. Now the next is about the allegations made by Russia against US, that US had a chemical and biological weapon lab in Ukraine. Okay, now this allegation from Russia has been declared as preposterous by Russia. Preposterous matlab silly, fake. Okay, so here US has said that the US is compliant with Chemical Weapon Convention and Biological Weapon Convention. So chemical weapons and biological weapons, they are known as weapons of mass destruction. Okay, weapon of mass destruction, and convention has been assigned Chemical Weapon Convention in 1995 and Biological Weapon Convention in 1970s to stop the production of and use of chemical and biological weapons in warfare. Now over here there are certain important news, that is Russia had a track record of using chemical weapons in poisoning and attempting to assassinate the oppositions of Vladimir Putin. Prominent among them is Alexei Navalny. Now there are certain important information which we should know related to Alexei Navalny. So Alexei Navalny is the opposition leader in Russia and he had run for presidency in the past. Now he was poisoned. He was poisoned by the Russian authorities. Now Alexei Navalny, who is in now prison, he was awarded the Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought. Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought. The spelling is SAKHAROV. Sakharov Prize for Freedom of Thought. This prize is awarded by the European Parliament for persons who have contributed in defending the human rights and freedom of thought. Earlier, this award has been awarded to Nelson Mandela, Aung San Suu Kyi, Malala Yousafzai, Denis Mukwege, and Nadia Murad. The next is that in yesterday's newspaper we learned that Western countries have imposed sanctions against Russia. Certain financial institutions from Russia, they have been banned from SWIFT, which is a financial telecommunication society, and now this ban has been extended to 3 banks from Belarus, which we did in yesterday's newspaper. Now in return, the Kremlin has hit back by banning the export of telecom, medical, auto, agricultural, electrical and technical equipment and some forestry products till the end of 2022. Now the next is UK imposes sanctions on Chelsea club owner. तो ये एक वन लाइनर न्यूज़ होता है, एलिट में अक्सर पूछ लिया जाता है. तो चेल्सी फुटबॉल क्लब है एक, उनके जो एक रशियन ओनर हैं रोमन Abramovich. He was placed under sanctions by the United Kingdom. So asset freeze and travel ban are some of the sanctions which has been imposed upon him. The next is Colombo Security Conclave. Now this Colombo Security Conclave, it started in 2011. Earlier it was a trilateral alliance between India, Sri Lanka and Maldives. Now in 2022 the membership has been expanded. Now Mauritius has also been included under this conclave. Now the 5th NSA level talk of the conclave, it concluded in Maldives, and the focus was close cooperation among India's maritime neighbor, and the cooperation is required to combat shared security challenges. Now if you will just see that what can be this shared security challenges in the Indian Ocean region, so it is tackling narcotics, organized crimes and mitigating the threats posed by accidents. Now the 5th level talk, it expanded the membership of Colombo Security Conclave and also the mandate of Colombo Security Conclave, which is important. Now earlier there were 3 members, that is India, Sri Lanka and Maldives. Now Mauritius is the 4th member. Second, that if you will see the mandate, earlier it was tackling narcotics, trafficking, organized crimes and mitigating the threats by maritime accident. Now it also includes 2 new mandates, that is humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. Okay. Now some of the important factual information over here is that who is the National Security Advisor of India? So the answer is Ajit K. Doval. The next is that who is the Maldives Defense Minister? Then Maria Ahmed Didi, who was the participant here. Then Secretary to Sri Lanka's Ministry of Defense, General Kamal Gunaratne. Okay, and who is the National Security Advisor of Mauritius? Then Kumar Sen Hango. The next is the important mandates discussed by NSAs under this conclave. So it was narcotics trafficking and transnational organized crime, cyber security and emerging technologies. The next important news is IS, that is Islamic State, confirms death of its leader and names new chief. तो यहाँ पे हम इस्लामिक स्टेट के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. तो हमने पढ़ा था कि last month in northwestern Syria the leader of IS was killed. So the name of the leader was Abu Hassan al-Hashmi al-Qureshi. Now this incident occurred in the Syrian town of Atme. This information is also important. Syrian town of Atme on February 3rd. Now IS has chosen his successor and he has been named same, that is Abu Hassan al-Hashmi al-Qureshi. Now why the IS leaders are taking this surname al-Qureshi? So the answer is that Prophet Muhammad belonged to the same clan of Qureshi. The next is economy. Over here we are going to study the economic impact of Russia-Ukraine crisis and what is going on. So the first news is that inflation may stay below 6% even if oil averages $100 according to CRISIL. Now what is this importance of 6%? Why 6% has been mentioned over here? So if we will look at our monetary policy committee or our monetary policy inflation target, so the inflation target for monetary policy is 4% plus minus 2%. Okay, this is the inflation bandwidth of India, which means 2% to 6%. So the upper limit of tolerable inflation is 6% and lower limit is 2%. Okay, so if the inflation goes beyond 6%, then it becomes a problem for RBI. Then RBI can follow tight monetary policy. Okay, tight monetary policy means increasing the repo rate. Now whenever the repo rate is increased, there is less liquidity in Indian market. Now after COVID-19, RBI is following accommodative policy to help the recovery of Indian growth sector, because as we have done during inflation, that contact intensive sectors are already below pre-COVID level growth rate. Second is that the private final consumption expenditure is still very low. So if inflation goes beyond 6% due to rising crude oil prices, then RBI has to increase the repo rate, means it has to follow the tight monetary policy, which can hamper the recovery of Indian economy. That's why inflation target remaining below 6% is important for RBI and also for economy. The next is coal imports from Russia may be highest in 2 years in March. अब एक तो हम देख रहे हैं कि रशिया यूक्रेन क्राइसिस की वजह से हर जगह सप्लाई डिसरप्शन है. उसके बाद रशिया के अगेंस्ट इकोनॉमिक सैंक्शंस बहुत ज़्यादा लग गया है, तो पेमेंट करने में भी डिफ़िकल्टी आ रही है. उसके बाद भी हाउ कैन वी हैव कोल इम्पोर्ट्स टू बी हाईएस्ट इन 2 years इन दिस मार्च? सो द रीज़न इज द सेम, दैट इज सैंक्शन. और बिकॉज ऑफ दिस सैंक्शन रशिया हैज़ नाउ वेरी लेस कंट्रीज टू एक्सपोर्ट. सो इंडिया coal import from Russia could be highest in more than 2 years because of the sanctions against Russia to export its coal to other countries. Okay. Now from the sports, Tiger Woods have been inducted into Hall of Fame. So Tiger Woods, who is a golf player, now he has been inducted in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Okay. So this is very important news. Now friends, now this editorial, it gives the best synopsis of what has happened, though it is a political news. Okay, but since the election has concluded in 5 states, those are Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Manipur and Goa. Okay, so we'll just have a quick recap of what has happened. So if you will see the article, it highlights that shift from what is the term which we use normally is mandal to kamandal. Okay, now what is this mandal? So this mandal is, the name comes from Mandal Commission. Mandal Commission, okay, which mandated 27% reservation for OBC quota. Now if you will just see the evolution of Indian politics, especially after 1991, okay, so there was a rise in the caste based political parties in Hindi heartland. But by the time we come to 2021, the loss in the electoral losses of this party suggest that now the country has moved from mandal to kamandal. So if you will just see that what has worked for several political parties, so the answer is here: a combination of identity appeals, welfare promises and strongman rhetoric helped the winners, that is one party in 4 states and another party in Punjab. Now at the same time, it also says that the potency of caste oriented social justice plank, means about the caste based parties, as a mobilization strategy is at a lowest ebb, means it is at nadir in the electoral landscape of India. At the same time, dynastic politics is also losing its sheen, as we can see the from the electoral results. Okay, now if you will just see the election result in Punjab, so over here people have favored development over dynasty. So one political party which has very good track record in education and health, it has been given a clear mandate in Punjab. Now friend, Professor Alzaz Ahmad from Irvine, California, who was an outstanding Marxist and thinker of contemporary time, he has passed away. यहाँ पे वन लाइनर टाइप पूछ सकते हैं ऑबिचुअरी में. So here we should know that he was a citizen of Pakistan, but he was born in India. Now he has this very famous work that is called as In Theory, Classes, Nations and Literature. Now this book, it is a critique of Edward Said, who is another socialist. That book is Orientalism. The next is India Japan Army Exercise. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है वन लाइनर के लिए. So India Japan bilateral army exercise, उसका नाम है धर्मा गार्जियन. Now it has concluded at Belgaum. Belgaum is in Karnataka. Now at the same time, at different place, Australian Army Chief Lieutenant General Richard Maxwell Burr, he was also present to witness firepower demonstration at Pokhran firing range. अब अगर हम ये दोनों एक्सरसाइज का ऑब्जेक्टिव देखेंगे तो यहाँ पे ऑब्जेक्टिव है टू शेयर देयर एक्सपर्टाइज ऑन डिसरप्टिव डिफेंस टेक्नोलॉजीज, ओके, like drone and anti-drone weapon. Now this is a shift from what normally the bilateral army exercise aims for. The bilateral army exercise, they mostly aim for interoperability. The next is this news. From past few days we are learning that Indian army are carrying out operations and militants are being killed in Valley. तो हम जैसे कि पहले से न्यूज़ करते आ रहे हैं कि 2019 में when the JNKU Organization Act was passed and Jammu and Kashmir was transformed from state to the union territory, so we can see that there has been influx of non-local residents in Kashmiri Valley. Then it has given rise to targeted civil killings. There are targeted civilian killings in Jammu and Kashmir. Now this targeted civilian killings, जैसे कि हमने पहले पढ़ा था सितंबर अक्टूबर में, that one school was attacked where the principal of the school and teacher were killed. Then a leading pharmacist businessman from the valley, he was also killed. Then local laborers from Bihar, they were getting killed. These all attacks were carried out by a local terrorist group that is called as the Resistance Front, that is TRF. Now this TRF, it is a shadow organization of Lashkar-e-Taiba. So friend, that's all for today. We will meet tomorrow again with the daily Hindu analysis. Till then, have a nice day. Take care. Thank you.